Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijender Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English, and at present, I have been posted at Government College Gudha in the Jhansi district. During this COVID period, as we are compelled to teach you through video lectures, today's video lecture is meant for the students of Class BA Part 3rd, Subject English Literature, Paper 1st. And in this video, we are going to discuss the character of Ulysses as depicted in Alfred Lord Tennyson's famous poem, Ulysses. First of all, we should know about the poet. As we know, Alfred Lord Tennyson is a name. He is one of the most popular Victorian poet. As we know, during Victorian age in England, there was progress in every field, may it be literature, science, agriculture, medicine, means in all fields. So that was a period when everyone was very, very curious to go forward in every field. So Alfred Lord Tennyson, being a Victorian poet, and as he was also made poet laureate by the king, he depicts in his poems the very spirit of that age. As Dryden has said, in every age there is someone, poet or the other, who represents in his poetry the very spirit of that age, and this is true of Lord Tennyson. Thus, Tennyson in his poetry expresses the very spirit of the Victorian age. He stands in the same relation to his times as does Chaucer to the 14th century England and Alexander Pope to the early 18th century England. As far as his poetry is concerned, we find a remarkable musical quality in Tennyson's poems, and also another feature is their pictorial quality. Means when we read the poem of Tennyson, we find that before our inner vision, the picture of what has been described is clear. His work reflects an engagement with the past, and he used the tales of legendary Greek heroes to express this concern. As the very name suggests of the poem, it is a legendary character. Ulysses is one of the most famous poems written in English language. It is prescribed in almost all the universities of the world. It was first published in 1842 after Arthur Hallam's death. Now this name Arthur Hallam is very important. He was the best friend of Tennyson. He died. Tennyson became very sad, and he also wrote another poem in memoriam, which is regarded as one of the 5 top elegies written in English language. This poem, that is Ulysses, expresses the poet's feeling about the need of going forward and facing life despite the bereavement he has suffered. I mean, in spite of sadness, sorrow, sufferings, we have to go forward in this world. This is the message given by this poem. Ulysses was the legendary Greek hero, the story of whose heroic deeds and adventure is sung by Homer in his Odyssey. Now remember, friends, there are 2 epics. Just as in India, there are 2 epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata are famous. In the same way, in Greece, there are two epics. One is Odyssey, another is Iliad. Odyssey is the name of the epic, and the protagonist or the main character whose adventures are related or narrated in this epic is Odysseus. And in England, Odysseus is known by the name of Ulysses. However, Tennyson's Ulysses is closely modeled on Dante's Ulysses as sketched in the 26th canto of the Inferno. We should know that Odysseus is a very popular legendary Greek hero. Many poets have written about him. Many have composed their works, and Dante Alighieri, Homer are two of them. The influence of classical poets Homer and Virgil is seen in phrasing and many verbal echoes. Hence, in this poem, we find that Tennyson is very much impressed by Homer and Virgil. But despite this indebtedness, Tennyson's treatment is original, and Ulysses remains the noblest of all Tennyson's classical poems. Means Ulysses is really a great poem. Now, let us come to the story element. Ulysses or Odysseus was the legendary king of Ithaca in Greece. Just as in India, there were many kingdoms. India was divided into small states, say Jodhpur, Bikaner, Bhopal, etc. In the same way, Greece was divided into small kingdoms, and one of the kingdom name was Ithaca, and Ulysses was the king of Ithaca. He was one of the heroes of the Trojan War. The Trojan War was fought between the Greeks and the Trojans. We all know about Greek and Trojans. Prince Paris. This is the story element for necessary to understand this character. Prince Paris of Troy eloped with the Queen Helen of Greece, the wife of Menelaus. The Greeks thought it their insult, and they attacked Troy to bring back Helen. The war continued for 10 years, and the city of Troy was destroyed. Ulysses also took part in the Trojan War, which lasted for 10 years. Now, after victory, he started his return journey, but as he was waylaid by several difficulties by wind, as at that time there were no machines, the ships were carried by the direction of wind. So he spent another 10 years to travel home because he was waylaid by several difficulties and adventures. He returned home after 20 years. When he reached home, he was made king. He started leading a peaceful domestic life. But he soon felt bored with his homely settled life. So he shouldered the responsibilities of the kingdom to his son and set out on a new expedition in spite of his old age. This is the story element. In short, we can say as he was bored, so he asked his companions who were with him in the Trojan War and started addressing them, exhorting them to go with him for a new adventurous life. What is more important is the character of Ulysses. That is, the story is not important, it is the character of Ulysses which is very important. It has been rightly said by one critic that the poem Ulysses aims at presenting a type of character, not a narrative of action. The poem does not tell us the story. It is aimed at describing the features of a character. The main features, or we can say traits, of the character of Ulysses are following. First is traveler. Ulysses has spent the major part of his life in travels and fights. He has traveled far and wide and had many adventures in the war as after during his return journey also. He has acquired a lot of knowledge of the world, its men, manners, and governments. But his thirst for knowledge and experience is unquenched, means unsatisfied. He is not satisfied at all. He has grown used to a life of adventure, and the inactive, settled life of a king does not suit him. He likes to follow knowledge like a sinking star. This is a very big statement that till he dies, he wants to earn more and more knowledge. The second trait of Ulysses is his hunger for knowledge. Ulysses has traveled far and wide and seen many countries and known many people. He has become a name. Yet his hunger for travel and adventure is not satisfied. He would like to set sail again and have more experience. He exclaims, that is, he declares. What he says is very important. Yet, these are the three lines of the poem. Yet all experience is an arc where through gleams the at untraveled world. The poet says that whatever experience he has been able to get in his life in 20 years or before the 20 years, he has reached on the threshold of a house whose boundary is visible. That these are the boundaries of the, you can say, room, but whose margin fades. The margin means boundary fades, will disappear, or here you can say go back and back forever and ever. When I, as he tries to learn the which is visible, he finds that the boundary of that room are moving backward and backward. That is, in a word, knowledge is unlimited. He realizes this. The third trend is man of action. Ulysses is an indefatigable rover, means wanderer. He says that knowledge is infinite and human life is short. He has only a few more years to live. That is, he has grown old, and he would devote them to gain more knowledge and experience. He would follow knowledge like a sinking star. His ambition is to sail beyond the sunset and the births of all the western stars until I die. That is, he does not want to take any kind of rest till he dies. He wants every single breath of his life to gain more and more knowledge. Another trait is willpower. Now it is clear Ulysses has now grown old. That is, he has become physically very weak. He does not have the same old physical strength of his youth when he could move heaven and earth. Means when he could do even the impossible. At that time, he had so much physical strength, he could achieve even impossible. Now everything has changed. His body does not have that kind of physical strength. Yet he has a strong willpower. He is determined to travel and have adventures till he dies. As he says, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Means his aim of life is to strive, to try, to seek, to search, to find, and not to even not to surrender before any circumstance, in any situation, whatever it may be. The another trait is ego-centered personality. He is egoist. Ulysses is an ego-centered personality. He is obsessed by self-concern. The pronoun I is used a number of times. For example, I meet and door. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink. Beside these, the words my and myself are used when he talks of his relationship with his wife, his son, and his people. That is, he gives more importance to his personal life. He thinks that he is something. That is why he is filled with puff or pride. Another quality of his character is he is an escapist. That is, he tries to run away from the responsibility. Ulysses has been interpreted by some critics as an escapist. He seeks escape from his duty towards his wife and kingdom. That is, he is not in a position to fulfill his duties. He leaves all his responsibility to his son Telemachus. The following lines show that he is an escapist. These lines from the poem. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. That is, it is the time of evening. The long day wanes. Means the day is almost disappeared. That is, night has arrived. The slow moon climbs. That is, moon is shining slowly in the sky. The deep in the seas moans round with many voices. There are many voices which are coming from the sea. All these things show that he is going to start a new journey at the time of evening. And the symbols, the sound, many voices, all these indicate that he is not thinking of positive signs but of negative signs. That is, he wants to die. In other words, the line's slow movement and elegiac quality help to stress the element of the escapist and suicidal in Ulysses' motives, that he wants to commit suicide. Conclusion. In conclusion, it may be said that Tennyson was not the portrayer of individual. He was not a deleter, he was not a dramatist to create character, nor of active practical character. His characters, with few exceptions, are generalizations or refined abstractions, clearly developing certain thoughts, feelings, forms, and bringing them home to all competent sympathies. That is, he takes one quality of a character and develop it from this angle, from that angle, etc., etc. There is not much substance in them. His characters are not creatures of flesh and blood, means does not give other qualities also. He concentrates on one particular quality. They are generalization or abstractions. They symbolize some particular idea and are not rounded three-dimensional figures. Thus, Ulysses is an embodiment of the very spirit of courage and adventure rather than a living, breathing human being. Means with all weaknesses, etc., he does not give importance to other features. He is romantic with his imagination, all aglow with the lure of far off, the unknown and the mysterious, lost in contemplation of a distant fairyland, so incapable of effective action in the present. That is, Ulysses is not a three-dimensional figure. He is a kind of extension or expansion of one particular idea, that is hunger for knowledge, the spirit of Victorian age. Thank you very much.